Full segue here. I have to call out a member of our incubator community, our client, Krystina. I am so pumped to tell you guys this story.
Yes.
Because spoiler alert, she has bought back 9 full-time weeks of work.
Uh-huh.
And the cost is so minimal. It is mind-blowing.
Yeah. So I want to set the stage before we get into all of this. So literally our promise, our advanced training that you only get access to if you're accepted, that you only get access to if you apply at bossproject.com/incubator is incredible. And our promise in that training and overall of the incubator is how I can help you, how our entire team can help you make more money and work less. Be more intentional about your hours. We are helping you design a life first business. You get to decide how you spend that time. That ultimately is up to you. But the version of like the way that we hustle with intention and the way that we work and the way that we launch or strategize or serve or grow or reset or whatever is all based around a life first bubble, meaning there are dedicated times that are there for work because we know the result of what those work hours or times are going to be. And then there are free times where we can either introduce more growth or we can introduce rest. And the only thing, if I could get all of our clients to walk away with just one thing, it is the empowerment to choose what to use that time for. And so I not only want to share the result of Krystina of the 9 weeks of full time, but also the like full circle moment she had on how she even got that time, because there was a moment where the time was about to be filled with a lot of things, and we just kind of sat and we had some amazing coaching conversations, and then she came back, because that's, I feel like, a unique perspective at the incubator as well, and as the way that our team serves you is we don't know all the answers, and this is not a copy paste follow this blueprint, if you do it you're going to see these results.
And we have to take into account your unique circumstances.
100%.
And so we'll give you the framework to like figure it out, but you're going to have to make the decision.
But outside of that, the only job I actually have is to empower you to make the decisions that you need to make for you. Right. Period. That's it. Right. And so to see that come to life for Krystina was incredible.
Oh my gosh. And so Krystina's in year 2 of working with us. In her first year, she over 1,200% increased her business. She went from like making 10,000 in 2020. 2020. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To making 120,000 in 2021. And I can't wait to hear more about what her pace is for 2022, but a big part of it was really setting up her high touch signature service. And she went from baking. What am I saying?
Building cookies.
She went from baking cookies by the dozen for local clients. She was making custom cookies like that you bought for a baby shower, graduation, like birthday. Very, I wouldn't say normal, but like the typical cookie business that you think of, right? Yep. To really following her intuition, her expertise, and she's ultimately built a team building business that is all revolved around these cookie decorating parties. Mm-hmm. And she's had incredible clients like Apple, Google, Amazon, Wayfair. Like I literally could keep going. It's insane. Yep. But a big part of this is making sure that her high-tech signature service is streamlined, that she has the systems in place, like that this is all things we focus on inside the incubator. And a big part of it is that she's pricing appropriately based on her goals, based on the unique amount of time she has. And so she goes through the whole process. Like in the first part of the incubator, she double checked her pricing. And like, while we'd already worked with her for a full year, she did have to make some adjustments to her price point to hit her goal for this year. Mm-hmm. And I think she had some resistance to that because she's like, how could I possibly charge X when it's literally like 6 cookies and a couple bags of icing. And I'm like, but
That's not what it
but
is.
it's not what they're buying. That's not what they're buying. And so we helped her fix that price point. Ultimately, she decided to set a minimum, which I am so glad she finally put that in place in terms of the number of people that are necessary to have an event. So that she can have like an actual event minimum cost basically to hit her numbers. And her low end for an event, and I think sometimes she still breaks her own rules, like many small business owners do. I think it's supposed to be more like 5K as a minimum for her event. I think sometimes she lets it slip down to 3K. But nonetheless, she's had events that are 25K plus for one event.
Yeah.
She's, throughout all of this, has held on to custom baking cookies
for very valid reasons,
yes.
Right? And this is a part of the journey. During her call, she was like, I'm still doing these. I'm not saying yes to as many, but I am still doing them because it's how I feel creative and it's how I feel like I keep my brand awareness and it's fun for me. And I support that. We are never the people that are like, why are you still doing that? Cut it right now. I'm never going to be the person to tell you that. I'm just going to give you the facts and again, empower you to make the decision that works for you.
Right. So I really wanted her, and I know Emily echoed this. I needed her to look hard in the mirror about where she was spending her time.
Yep.
And, you know, truly, like, as much as I want to give you direction, I also need you to define what you want, because I can say that I wouldn't do something, but like that doesn't matter. Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to spend your time? And I knew she had a bunch of cookie orders coming up for spring, and I was like, does that even make sense anymore? And she pushed back a little bit, and she's like, well, it's this much part of my business, and and I said, I'm not negating that. I'm not saying custom cookies don't make sense if they hit a certain minimum, or if they have a certain quantity, or if they're for a certain profile or events or exposure or whatever. Like, there's always reasons to do things. And I wanted to be mindful of, I didn't want her to be literally like cookie by a dozening her time away. You know what I mean?
And because in the same conversations, she was bringing those clients and those instances up. She was following it up with, man, I feel like I have no time to reach out to new leads or create this referral process that you guys are suggesting, or this over here. And so we were just the flower over there that was like, okay, so you don't have the time because you're saying yes to these, and the opportunity for this over here is X. And
I was like, have you really looked at the opportunity cost?
Right.
And so for those of you unfamiliar with an opportunity cost, is you have to define, everything has like risk and reward, right? And so if you have a product priced at a certain price point, you know what it could bring in for X number of clients. You also have this product over here that you know it could bring in for X number of clients. But there also is time associated with those things. So how much is your time worth to do this activity over here versus this activity over here?
And time can trick you because it's easier, faster to land more cookie clients, right? For birthdays, for holidays, for events. So that feels easier in less time.
It feels like you're getting more success more quickly.
Because it takes longer and a little bit different work to land corporate clients, bigger events. But you have to, they're not apples to apples here.
Right. And so she was in this unique position where she literally had inquiries sitting on her desk that she hadn't said yes to. There was 27 cookie orders that she had not officially said yes or no, which, by the way, to have that many clients that willing to just like tell you maybe
waiting.
I don't even know how she got into that position. But if you meet her, or if you ever have the chance to meet her, which PS, you can totally meet her inside the incubator. She would love to chat with you.
Yes, she would.
she has this infectious personality where you just love her.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising to me that she has incredible clients who are willing to wait it out.
Yeah.
All that to say, there was 27 inquiries sitting on her desk with an average order of only $200.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so she looked at the timing of it, and I'm pulling up my notes. So to make a $200 order, it's really heart-wrenching. To make a 200, and I know, like, the artists in our, like, regardless of what your art form is, this is so common. So
you're gonna
be like, yeah, that makes sense. So to make one order of cookies, it takes 10 to 20 hours between baking, decorating, and like coordinating and all the things. Mm-hmm. Now, I realize some of that is bake time, where like it's literally like sitting in the oven. Mm-hmm. I don't care. That's still taking your time.
You can't just put them in the oven and then leave.
Or make other money while you're doing it. Like, maybe you could do laundry, but like you can't do other earning activities likely.
Right.
Okay. So it's taking 10 to 20 hours to make $200. Well, when you look at all of those clients, she was realizing I could get one high touch signature service at her minimum rate and replace over 20 of her current clients. Mm-hmm. And it became so clear to her. So literally she decided to, after looking at all the numbers, she turned down 24 of the 27 inquiries, which some of you would be like, oh my God, she turned down 24 clients who were willing to pay her. Mm-hmm. But those 24 clients at $200 is $4,800.
Yep. In 10 hours per order.
Yes. $4,800. And she said 10 to 20 hours. So I did the average. So that's 15 hours a client times 24. That's 360 hours that she turned down of work. Divide that out by an average work week of 40 hours a week. That is 9 full-time weeks of work to bake and create the 24 custom cookie orders for spring. And she's wondering why she has no time. Of course she has no time. That's literally all of spring.
It's all of spring doing that.
Only that. You would be baking and decorating the entire time to just fulfill on those orders, which is why she's pulling nights and weekends, because I'm sure many of them are bulked up together, where a lot are at Easter, a lot are, and so it just doesn't add up.